amazing grip. Jimmy Hitchman with this chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. It's a bad bitch on the elevator, I'ma let her in. Let your hater be a motivator, I can't let you win. Evil genius, human calculator, stack it by the 10. Put the Lambo on the elevator, bring it to the den. Put them on stand by the balcony, I'm fly like Peter Pan. I'm so glad they turned their back on me, cause we weren't really friends. And it ain't even 10, and I woke up on a 10. And I don't need no pen, now I don't need no pad. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the check. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grips. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. Gotta keep them snipers with me, dog. I got more enemies than 50, dog. He popped up burger, said he nodding off. On higher alert, they just might pop it off. 11 o'clock, she popped the natter off. That bitch so bougie, yeah, she bad enough. That bitch so thick, you know she lit enough. It's Gucci, man, you know it's bricks involved. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his own 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grips. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip.
Today, we're going to talk about the Thursday night football game, college basketball winners, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke, and I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good, but my goodness, did we think it was going to be a big Christmas?
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 601 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit yet, start today. Go check out Bookit. It's free to download, free to use. Okay, start tracking your bets over there on Bookit Sports. Change your life. Start up some positive habits in the betting space. Start tracking your bets on Bookit. They do all the work for you. They'll track all those bets for you, okay? Go check out Bookit. Use promo code Chelly, promo code Jovan, promo code BTL, and get started today on Bookit. Jovan, squad ride was cake last night. Let's cut right to it.
Not cake.
Oh, cake for me. Cake for me. Apologize. Let's go ahead and flash the graphic, and I can go ahead and give the breakdown here. If you got the early number, if you watch BTL, if you locked it in like a normal person right after the show, not like me who waited an extra hour and got 142.5, you're a smart person and you're better than me. If you're like me and you were lacking and you locked in 142.5, you got hooked. All right. So I hope you guys watched BTL yesterday. I hope you locked it in with Jovan at the 141.5 number. Okay. That's why you watch BTL. That's why you lock it in right off the rip responsibly for a unit every day. I learned my lesson. Got to lock those puppies in right off the rip. It got steamed up.
How Vegas does it, dude. That was
How do they know?
Incredible work.
How do they know? But chat, that's on me. I'm not here to bitch about it. That's on me for locking it in late. I hope that did not happen to any of you guys. I hope you got the good number and I hope you cashed. W play Jovan. It was always the other. Good. Let's take a peep at some of the sharp report plays. Definitely not my best work yesterday. You carried 3-1-1 from you. W push on the ice. Dyson Daniels, if he shot another one, he might have made it. So he only went 1 for 1. You take that day.
Might have. Can't complain though.
Well, I could complain about Fred VanVleet. That guy's a shit basketball player.
He's bad.
You watch him?
Really bad.
he lost his fastball. I'll tell you that much. He is not the same guy I remember watching on the Raptors. That's for sure. He has lost his fastball. So apologies for that square yesterday and those plays. Got to lock back in today and find some more winners. Plain and simple. Okay, Jovan, great plays there yesterday. We take 3 and 1 and 1, and we go about our day. All right. No steam Krabs today. We'll move, we'll groove. I do want to talk a little bit about our fantasy football matchup, Jovan. I know we hinted at it yesterday. We brought up that you and me are facing off starting tonight for the playoffs in the Bookit Fantasy League. I want to take a peep at our matchups and see how our squads are looking and see if there's any players maybe you're debating on starting, debating on sitting, because I'm sure there's people in chat who are debating the same exact things. First off, I guess we can go ahead and start big picture. Jovan, how are you feeling about your matchup against my squad this weekend?
I would love to say I feel great, but to be honest, I really don't. It all starts tonight with the weird Isaac Guerrero situation that I still honestly have no idea what to do with, because sure, he's playing, but we know not just with the Niners. I'd be scared about this to do it with anybody, really, with his injury situation on a short week, but especially with Kyle Shanahan, the Niners. You know, they're serial liars of just how hurt really anybody is. So if Patrick Taylor comes in and mooches carries, I would not be shocked at all, and I don't think anybody would be. So I'm a little concerned that happens to be the case with my already thin bench. So my options are pretty limited.
So yeah, what are you debating between? I know it's tough with Gurriento, and like you said, I've seen this movie before with Shanahan and the 49ers where you don't really know how banged up a guy is, and next thing you know, you're watching the game and they're using 7 different running backs. They're using guys in the backfield you didn't even know were on the active roster, right? I feel like that could definitely be the case today. So who are you debating between with Gurriento, and what's the call you're probably going to make?
We'll see. I mean, on the bench, I'm probably not going to start either Jags running back at this point. I haven't for weeks, but it's really between, do I take the chance that Breece Hall is actually not going to play on Sunday and leave the spot open for Braylon Allen, or I really don't want to take my shot with Jaylen Warren, even though it's a tough – he's playing the Eagles, so that's a tough matchup for him, but he could still be a PPR monster. But those are my only options there, so it's a tough call.
What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to ride with Gurriento?
I might have to.
Oh, gosh.
I might have to, dude.
All right. I probably would too if I was in your spot, but man, I've seen this movie before and it puts you in a really tough spot knowing the 49ers and how they operate with those running backs. But I don't know if you have a real choice, man.
Yeah.
You might have to. What do you think, Chad? Are you guys starting Gurriento in your fantasy leagues this weekend? Are you sitting him on the bench? It might come down to what pieces you have on your bench if you have that luxury, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my lineup's pretty set as well right now. I'm trying to load it right now on my phone. It's giving me some serious issues, but yeah, would love to talk through my lineup really quick here. Take a peep at it. I got to make some adjustments too and put back my starters in, I think. Because I have JD5 on the bench, I believe, in this league. And of course, my fantasy league is not loading on my phone. Do I have Jaden Daniels in this league?
You do.
Of course, the shit's not fucking loading right now, and I can't see it on the screen. Yeah, so I got to put him back in, and I got to still make some adjustments here. And of course, the app's not loading on my phone. But yeah, still got to make some tweaks. Can't make it up.
Yeah, you have a million options
right.
here, Krabs.
I mean, my team's loaded, bro.
Loaded.
My team is absolutely loaded. I don't know why this shit's not working, bro. It's so annoying. Let me go on my laptop. Here we go. I mean, look, Chelly's team's a fucking wagon. I got to make some moves, though, and I got to put in JD5 for Tua. I'm going to ride with Saquon. I'm going to ride with James Conner, probably. But I got Chuba as well against Dallas. Like, what do I do with Chuba? I talked about it with you guys earlier. I keep putting Chuba on my bench because I have better options, and he keeps dropping 20 points a game. Like, maybe I even put him in there for James Conner.
I mean, I would love if you bench Chuba, but that would be an objectively dumb move, I would say, to keep him on your bench, as much as I would very much love to not have those points against me.
And then I got Bucky in my flex right now. I'm obviously going to take him out for either James Conner or Jacoby Myers against Atlanta and that Mooshit defense.
Yeah. I don't even know.
I might have to start Jacoby at the flex.
Yeah, Bucky might be out.
Yeah. And even if he plays, I mean, after last week, I don't even know if I want to get involved with that.
Yeah, they're also playing the Chargers. So I mean, it's not like you need him in there anyway.
Yeah, so I just updated my lineup there. So, Goots, I don't know, maybe you can hit the refresh and we can take a peep at the matchup.
You might have to make some defensive moves here too, Krabs. Seattle against Jordan Love.
Yeah, see, that could be tough. I like the under in that game, but I might have to make a move at defense as well. But I'm stacked, man. I got too many options. My bench is loaded.
Are we starting
Sometimes
Jake
having
Ferguson, or are we picking up tight end?
We're starting Jake Ferg, I think, man. I
Okay.
think I'm back on the Jake Ferg wagon here. We got Nelly Nell coming in, resubbing. Let's go, Nelly Nell. Sure we can. Sam L coming in, resubbing as well. What's up, Jovan? W's. We got a hype train moving and grooving. Love to see it. We got Noah G. Nose coming in. Thank you, Jovan, for Cal Baptist. Great play.
Goats.
Great play. Good shit, Jovan. Good shit. Yeah, I mean, I could risk it with the Seahawks defense, but I might have to make a move and pick up someone else. But either way, I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup. Neighbors know my name versus CMC 2 tutties. I'm projected 132. Javon's projected 118.
Yeah.
Look, it's my matchup to blow here. I'd say I'm minus 200, but we'll see how it plays out. Any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday. Okay. Chat, you guys got any fantasy football questions before we move and groove? Let me know. Must start 2, Cooper, Thielen, Debo, J-Mo, Jawan Jennings. Ooh, well, you're in a good spot. That's for sure. I feel like you probably got to start Debo today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. I'd probably go Cooper Kupp and Debo personally, but Thielen's definitely not a bad option either, the way he's been playing against that Mooshit secondary too in the Cowboys that just gave up a ton of yards to Jamar Chase. Who's to say they don't feed Thielen with 10-plus targets in that matchup this week too?
I don't know that I'd want to leave any Panthers out of my lineup this week.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I have Thielen on my bench in our league as well. Like, that's a sneaky flex spot potentially too, but that might be too risky.
Yeah, you already have Chuba though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a peep at Mikey and Shelly's matchup real quick. I want to take a look at their matchup on the other side of the bracket. Shout out Mike. Shout out Shelly for making it. And I'll pull it up real quick too. Shelly's team is a fucking wagon, but Mikey's team is playing its best ball right now. Okay, so you got the hottest team in the fantasy league playing against probably the best squad in the fantasy league. Who do we think pulls this one out? Right now, Shelly's projected 132. Mikey's projected 124. So it's a closer matchup in this one, but looks like Shelly has the edge. Do we see Mikey, the horny bunch, squeak one out and stay hot and pull off the upset of the Bookit Fantasy League? We might. We might. He's got Lamar. Looks like Lamar and Stroud is the QB matchup here. Lamar, Derrick Henry stack. There was questions about it preseason when it happened after the draft, but it's worked out great for the horny bunch, right? You can't even deny it.
Yeah, I'm nuking Mikey. I'm out.
Yeah, you know, Goots has his side. Sure.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about pretty much everything else, though. I would say. I mean, I'm not thrilled. I wouldn't be thrilled about having Lamar in a game that they're the biggest favorites in the NFL so far this season. But Derrick Henry should get his. But, I mean, Marvin Harrison against Christian Gonzalez, respectfully. I mean, he doesn't do anything against actual Mooshit corners. He's getting clamped. I guess Tony Pollard is a plus. His running back should be a good plus, and I think they have solid days. But everybody else, I'm a little worried about.
A little bit worried about his receivers. What do you think about Cade Otton this weekend?
I don't know that I feel great about it. Great about him against the Chargers.
Okay. Yeah, solid defense. Yeah, definitely a tight end mismatch here. Shelly's got Brock Bowers, who's just unbelievable.
Yeah, against the
that could be the difference.
Too.
It's really going to come down to Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and Mooney for Mikey's squads. Are these receivers who on paper looks like they don't really stand a chance against Coach Shelly, but those are guys who are all capable of big games. It's probably going to come down to Mike's receivers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 2 great matchups in the Bookit Fantasy Football Playoffs chat. 2 great matchups. We'll keep you updated. Okay? Jonnu over Otton. I mean, yeah, at this point, you got to start Jonnu. You got to start.
He doesn't have him, does he?
Yeah. No, I think somebody in chat's just talking about that in general.
Oh.
Okay. I got a question for you guys, fantasy-wise, and then we can move. I got 3 QBs in my sleeper league, and I got to pick 2 of them to start this week in my dynasty league, okay? I've got Matt Stafford tonight. I've got Jameis Winston, and I've got Caleb Williams. Are you benching Matt Stafford tonight? And are you starting Jameis against the Chiefs? Because I feel like I have to keep Caleb in there against Minnesota and what I think is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, especially after last week. Took some bagelry.
Yep. So I feel like it's between Stafford and Jameis. Looking at the prize pick squares, kind of looks like Stafford's the move. And Jameis isn't going to have a great day, but Jameis just comes through more often than not and puts up a big-time number. Sure, he might throw 2 picks, but is he going to put up 300 yards in the air in an L game script when they're losing the whole time against the Chiefs? Probably. Wouldn't be shocked. Who do you guys start? You going Matt Stafford or Jameis Winston against the Chiefs? That's tough.
It's pretty tough. I know the world's all on Stafford unders today. Less thans, wherever you're betting them. So I'd assume that would be kind of not as popular.
Maybe I keep Stafford in there. Right now I got Jameis. But maybe I put Stafford back in there. He's been carrying my QB room this entire season in this league. Maybe I give him the benefit of the doubt, keep him in there. Okay. I mean, I do like the over in this game tonight. Maybe I'll have a better feel about it once we go through that game.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Why don't we go ahead and hop into the Sharp Report? Enough talking about fantasy. Let's hop in and talk about some real winners for tonight. Okay. Bucks boys saying bench Caleb Williams. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I can against that Vikings defense. I'll be honest. Got to keep him in. All right. Let's get it started here. I got a nasty college basketball play, Jovan, that I want to pitch you. Hopefully you can get behind the Fighting Camels tonight against Citadel on the road here. But they flipped from a dog to a fave. Was surprised to see them at a fave at any point in this game against Citadel. You got Citadel coming in off a giant win. They put up 94 points against a made-up team in their last game. They haven't played in about a week since then. Then you got Campbell coming in off a loss when they were favorites at home against Coastal Carolina. But what do we know about Coastal Carolina? They win and cover every fucking week. Super annoying team to bet against. So I give Campbell a pass there. After a great start to the season for the Camels, an underrated team that's always very athletic and always hangs around games and typically covers and is typically pretty sharp on the spreads. After a pretty solid start to the season, they have dropped 3 of their last 4 games. But I want to back the Fighting Camels here, flipping from a dog to a fave, Jovan, against Citadel on the road. I think they have more talent. They have 2 guys on their team who I think are studs. You got Signani, the guard, and Frank, the forward for Campbell. Both these guys have been carrying the squad so far this season. And Signani, their guards, the kid from Wisconsin, the senior, he's got plenty of experience. He's been there for the last couple of years, and he's coming off a terrible game, his worst game of the season. The kid's averaging 13 points a game, but he only dropped 4 and shot a very inefficient 2 for 9 from the field against Coastal. I think the Campbells and Jason Sinani, the senior, step up and get a big-time win here on the road.
I can definitely get down with that. It's a gross play, but I'm very in.
Nasty. Yep. Give me Campbell on the road. All right. The Devils on the ice. Love this play. This is probably my favorite play today, I'll be honest. The Iowa play might be more crabby, but this Devils play on the ice, I just cannot stop thinking about. I cannot stop looking at this fucking line creeping up slowly up to minus 155 some places as well for the Devils, but they come in off of 2 losses, Jovan. The Kings are the hottest team in hockey right now. They're on a crazy win streak. And if you look at the recent matchup history between these 2 teams, I mean, the Hurricanes haven't beaten LA the last 2 times. They haven't beaten them since 2023. So they're due. They're at home. They're coming off a couple losses as well. They've lost 3 of their last 5 and 2 in a row. But against the hottest team in hockey, they're laying minus 150. What's up with this line? Fill me in if I'm wrong, but I think the Devils on the ice are one of the sharper plays on the slate today, any sport.
I do want to fade the Kings somehow, some way. I'm hoping to get past this. I guess not for your bad purposes, but I would much rather use it on the Rangers winning in 2 days than this one. But this does go against Mikey's system. Minus 150 Devils.
Shit. They never come through, huh?
They make it as tough as can be every single time.
Yeah, I cannot resist. Unfortunately, I might still have to play it. Laying minus 150 against the Red Hot Kings off of 2 losses? Come on.
Yeah.
We got to fade the Kings tonight, man. We don't have a choice. Okay.
Yeah. I'm still with it.
Okay. And then Iowa, CBB as well. I'll just wrap this up and we'll go to Jovan's plays. Spreads down from like 6.5 to 5.5, depends on where you're looking. But this is just a great looking play, a rivalry game. And Iowa State, if you guys remember the game last year, they absolutely spanked Iowa. And I know there's a lot of new faces on both these squads, but I do think Iowa gets some revenge here at home behind a home crowd that is going to show up there in Iowa in a rivalry game. And they always have a great home court atmosphere, and they always play very well at home. The Hawkeyes do. I'm leaning into that today, and I'll take the points against the Cyclones, who come in red hot. They beat Marquette, they beat Colorado, they beat Dayton. And their last game, most recent, obviously doesn't mean too much against Jackson State, not the greatest team, but they put up 100 burg against that squad. So they're feeling good. The Cyclones, they're putting up some serious points. It's not mom and pa's Cyclones team we're used to. This team could score a little bit, right? It's not just defensive reliant. I was a little bit confused why Iowa's, catching some steam here, spread down from 6.5 to 5.5, with them coming off that loss to Michigan, but they did hang around in that game. And they have overall taken care of business this season besides that loss to Utah State. I'll give them a pass there. It was a neutral site or a road game, and I'll back Iowa, who's much better at home. The Hawkeyes here, after getting spanked by their rival, the Cyclones, last season, they get their revenge, and they keep this one within a couple buckets. All right, I'm not saying they went outright. Wouldn't be shocked if they do, but I think the Hawkeyes at home keep this one within a couple buckets, and the game goes down to the last possession. Could be must-see TV.
Yeah, we'll tip cap to that. That's gonna be a weird game, really weird game.
I like the over. I like points. And that total has moved up a ton as well.
Yeah, little Iowa over never hurt anybody.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like, I just talked about Iowa State scoring plenty of points recently. Is that typically their bread and butter now? They play a little bit more defense than Iowa. Iowa typically relies a lot more on their offense. So in my eyes, seeing that total moving up almost 10 points is a good sign for Iowa at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what Jovan's on today. What straight bets are you cooking up over there?
Well, I have a similar play to yours on the ice, a little juicy. It's like minus 150, but I'm taking the Lightning today, which they're on this little West Coast road trip, and they laid an egg in their last game. Both teams really did. Against the Oilers, they lost that game 2-1. The offenses looked absolutely terrible. There was no flow of the game. There was just I know it was a very popular over, and a lot of people got burned by this. I don't think this game against the Flames tonight is nearly going to be the same. And I honestly didn't have to look for many excuses to bet the Lightning in this game, because if there's a chance to bet them on a bounce back on a West Coast road trip, I'm going to do it 100 times out of 100, partially because of the team itself and how they're kind of made to make adjustments like this, even when they're a little shorthanded like they are. But John Cooper, the coach, he despises losing on West Coast road trips. He talks about it all the time. He's like, whenever we go out there and we take a loss, it hurts like 5 of them when you're at home, because you want to go out there and you want to make a statement. So whenever they do that, they shake up the lines a lot, which I think is good for the Flames, or good for this game against the Flames, especially because they're not facing Dustin Wolf. I don't know why Dustin Wolf is not getting the net tonight, especially at home after Vladar. The Flames have been kind of iffy. They haven't scored goals, but they just won against the Preds, a shit team. But like, Vladar was not good. They just got covered up by the fact that he outscored him. He gave up like 3 goals and like 19 or 20 SOGs. Now he's getting the net again, which I think is weird. I think it's a karma performance coming for him, and they're going to shake up the lines, and I'll explain that in the squares in a bit, but they're going to come out much cleaner than they did against the Oilers offensively last game. So I think they get this win pretty convincingly.
Back in your Lightning on the road, catching some steam. Some respect for them as favorites, laying that line against a similar Calgary team. I'm in. Sign me up for the Lightning. Yep.
Can I sign you up for the next play?
I guess so. Yes. It's a winner.
Hoagies are bad, Krabs. Really
Talked
bad.
about it on TMA with Mike, man. I was bitching about it. I'm with you. Let me hear the sell job.
Yeah. So, just looking at that VT team, like, it's gross for a bunch of different reasons. It feels like they have no go-to scorer at this point, and they're playing an NCAA team who's similar to, like, I guess what I talked about with Dartmouth. Like, Dartmouth had gone up to BC and played up a little bit, and they won the game. So, like, they actually had a chance to make the game damn close against Notre Dame in the final seconds. They played pretty well. They stuck to their game plan. They shot their shots. NCAA has also played a another ACC team that went on the road who's kind of dealing with similar offensive struggles, a little better, but played Wake. They went there. They played decently well. They slowed them down for a majority of the game. And I think they're going to do the same thing against a Virginia Tech team that is, I would say, considerably worse in every form and facet. And I would be a little more concerned if VT had like their Hunter Couture that they could just stick on, Glasper, because Glasper is like their all-around leading scorer. Like in that game against Wake Forest, he took 29 shots and 23s, and he was the only guy in the starting lineup that scored in double digits. Like, he's going to be their everything in this game. They're going to play super slow. I just have a lot of trouble thinking that Virginia Tech is going to be able to outscore them in the half court pretty consistently.
Yeah, we got Blake Snell in chat right now. Blake, if you need a CBB play, go ahead and fade my Hokies and take NCA and T today. Okay, you're probably not looking for one, but if you need one, that's a winner. All right, my Hokies are in turmoil. It is bad down there in Blacksburg. We're fading them today. I'll be on this play. Snell, good to hear from you, my man. I'm happy for you. Sign that fatty contract. College basketball is trash. Yeah, no, I get that if you're more of an NBA guy, but so now I'm happy for you, bro. Big breads. You want to go win? I'm rooting for you. I don't blame you. Go get yours. All right. And good guys deserve one. Good to see a good guy get one with that bag. All right. Big things coming up for Snell this year. Always rooting for the lefty, no matter what team he's on. Okay. Take it easy on my Nats, please. They need it. All right. But besides that, Snell, I'm always rooting for you, bro. Good to see you. All right. Jovan, you got an NBA play on that puppy.
Yeah.
You're taking 10 points with Toronto, huh?
Yeah. Taking one of my teams in the Lightning and fading them on the in the NBA with the other. The Heat are like, despite all the rumors that are going around now about Jimmy Butler, I know his agents kind of come out and said that's all cap, but regardless, like Jimmy Butler's trade rumors are flying about where he wants to be sent. But like the last couple games, the Heat have been on fire, especially at home too. There's a little like 4-game homestand they're on. They beat the piss out of the Lakers. They took care of the Suns, and they took care of the Cavs pretty convincingly too in that game. Last game of the homestand, they get to face Krabs. They get to face the Raptors in their first game without Scotty Barnes. And the Raptors did beat them in Toronto about 2 weeks ago with Scotty Barnes, but now it's weird because you're going to have RJ Barrett, I guess, handling more of the ball. Grady Dick's going to get a fair amount of shots. Ochai Agbaji is going to be in a big part of the game when, like, Scotty Barnes is big because, I mean, he's a scoring threat that I think is pretty tough for the Heat to handle matchup-wise, and then, like, defensively, they stick him on Jimmy, so it's fine. But now, like, the strategy for the Heat, I would assume, is going to be go through Bam. It already was in that first matchup against the Raptors for a majority of it because he's got Jakob Poeltl on him, but even so, with, like, even less rim protection now, that's going to be the strategy. Whenever the Heat try to do that, it does not work out well at all because – and Jimmy starts getting, I don't know, timid and not aggressive, and he's stuck on trying to feed Bam in the post, and it never works out. The offense doesn't flow nearly as smoothly. Tyler Hero always comes out cold in those games. So, yeah, I'm kind of buying the bad news with the Raptors in a spot where it's kind of obvious for the Heat to get their get back after that game 2 weeks ago when they're facing a shorthanded Raptors team. I don't think it's going to be nearly that easy. So, I will be taking the Raptors, and I would not be surprised if they win this game. Such a classic letdown spot.
You love fading your Heat at home, man.
Yeah, and I've done a good job, even though, like, they've been sharp pretty much every single game against, like, the bigger teams or when they've been dogs or short favorites like the last week or so, and they've come through, and I've stayed patient, and now I'm attacking.
All right. Yeah, you pick your spots. It's not like you're putting up fades on your Heat up here every week. You're smart about it. I'll give you that. I'd give you shit if you were not good at fading or betting your team. You know I would. So, yeah, we got to give a look to Toronto coming in off of 3 losses down their star, playing Miami team. People are going to think is getting back on track after 3 straight wins, right? People are going to think they're getting their lick back. Kind of an easy angle there. I'm down to fades and back Toronto. Sign me up.
Sure.
Sign me up. All right. Let's talk about some prize pick squares. All right. And let's refrain from asking Snell to pay off your gambling debts in chat, please. And that's going to get you booted. Okay. That's going to get you booted. That's going to get you timed out. All right, let's be respectful. All right. A couple NFL squares for me tonight on prize picks. I like Ricky Pearsall. I think he catches 2 balls today. We got Aries coming in, giving 5 subbies out to the community real quick. Let's gas him up. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go, Aries. Once again, showing up, showing out, blessing the people with some subbies. Aries, man, you are goated. You ever need anything? You ever need a winner? You ever go into a game? First off, get your tickets on SeatGeek. Use promo code Bookit10. Get a 10% discount. But if you ever need to play and we didn't address it in chat, please hit us up, Arius. You know we got you. Okay? You know we got you. Use code Bookit10, chat. Plug it in right now before you forget, and you get a discount on all your future purchases. Okay? All right, let's reel back in here. Ricky Pearsall. So he's got a weird prize pick square up there, a couple of them, his receiving yards and his receptions. And although it was juicier to the over on the books earlier today, I still like this angle. I still think Brock Purdy is going to be airing it out in this game. Jovan, you talked about his pass attempts and his completions a little bit earlier today. I love that angle, and I think Brock Purdy is going to be very, very active today. It might not be the running back show as much as we think, with Guriento banged up a little bit. And I love seeing his pass attempts that high, but somebody else has to step up. And the easy angle today in the receiving game, somebody has to step up for the 49ers. The easy angle is Deebo Samuel. And I do think Deebo cashes his fantasy score today. I think Deebo is much more involved in the offense, receiving and rushing. If you look at that rushing square that's up on Prize Picks that they added late, makes me think he might break a run or two today. But I think Ricky Pearsall as well, a guy who hasn't had more than one catch over the last month. They're hanging a 1.5 Reddit out reception square up there on Prize Picks. I'm taking the bait. In a passing script for San Fran, in a game that I think, as square as it is, goes over, in a back and forth game that I think at times the 49ers might be losing. I do think they win overall at the end of the game, but wouldn't be shocked if Matt Stafford comes out like you're talking about, Jovan. Everybody fading him today, and the Rams go up early in this game, and you see the 49ers crawling back into it late in a passing game script. I think Ricky Pearsall comes down with 2 catches at least in this game, and I love seeing his receiving yards, a Reddit out chart as well, a little bit higher than what he's been doing. I think you see him getting more involved in the offense. It's not just going to be Deebo today. And looking at George Kittle's squares, I mean, he's been a monster for this team receiving-wise of late. I don't think he will be tonight. I think it's going to be somebody else stepping up, and it's not going to be Jawan Jennings. It's not going to be George Kittle for the first time in a while. You're going to see Ricky Pearsall step up and get 2 catches. They didn't draft him for nothing. All right, it's games like this, high-scoring affair against a secondary that's burnable, where Ricky Pearsall earns his paycheck.
Yeah, I saw these squares, and I will 100% be getting involved with you. Especially being that if Deebo doesn't catch a million passes today, also the whole world is in rat shit.
What's up, Chase? How we doing, Beast? Thank God you didn't take the interception square. Adam, I do like Stafford to throw a pick. I want that on record. But yes, it did not make the sharp reports. I like these squares a little bit better. And speaking of the second one, I'll make this quick. Kyren Williams has not been as big of a factor in the receiving game over the last month or so as he was in the beginning of the season. I think you see a little bit of that, Kyren in the receiving game activated in this one, kind of like it was in the first matchup against San Fran earlier this year, where he had around 30 yards, had a couple catches. He has not been doing much in the receiving game of late, but in what I think will eventually be an L game script for the Rams, maybe they take the lead early, but at some point the 49ers late in this one are going to take command and take the leads. I think the Rams in an L game script overall utilize Kyren a little bit more in the receiving game. And looking at the charts, I mean, I think you guys could probably back me on this one. Definitely a crabby square. It's not like he's been the receiving menace that he was in the first couple months of the season. But I think you see that return a little bit here today. 49ers D-line, obviously, stepping up, showing out last week. Their defense showing out a little bit last week, proving that they have a pulse and they're still alive and they're still the 49ers defense for the first time in a while. Wouldn't be surprised if the rushing attack for the Rams is not as successful in this one. And you got to see Stafford kind of take over this game, the future Hall of Famer. And he hits his guy, Kyren Williams, for a couple more checkdowns than we've seen of late. Loving Kyren Williams' receiving yards. It honestly might only take 1 for him to break it. But looking at his targets at 2.5, I think he's going to get a couple.
Yeah. And on that.
Good. What do you guys think, chat? Couple receiving angles here for Thursday Night Football. Obviously, one on the 49ers and one a running back, Kyren Williams on the Rams. Okay? Let's go to Jovan Squares, see what he's cooking up for today. What's up, Magic Lettuce? Thank you for the subby, my man. Let's hit some bets today. Yes, sir. W Magic Lettuce. Jovan?
I don't know if you remember this, but one of the other times I backed the Lightning and then the score goals, there's this really odd square up with Ryan McDonough over a point, which is one of those squares that obviously I'm pretty tapped into what's going on with the Lightning squares every time they face off or every time they take the ice. That square was never or rarely up. And there's another one up today. Very often you get the Gensel assist on the board. You get the Hedman assist. The Brendan Hagel assist is not up very often, but I think there's a reason for it today. Like I said, they're a little shorthanded. I don't know if Sorelli is going to be playing today, but I assume he's not. Regardless, on that second line, they've been kind of shifting the playmaking more to his side to where, I mean, they've come out and John Cooper's come out and said, like, when they're shorthanded, depth wise, not like at the top with like Cooch and Point and Gensel and all them, they like to get the puck in Hagel's hands and let him make the plays on that line. And I think this is the perfect spot to do that after not only like being shorthanded coming into this game, but they also laid an egg in their last game against an Oilers team that, frankly, this line specifically should have shown a much better effort on. So I think Hagel is going to be a pretty main facilitator for a lot of this game. Definitely helps that he is also on PP1, where I think there's going to be a big onus on getting some something going on the power play. And Dan Vladar has also been horrible when he's exposed to any offense that's going to take him head on, which when Hagel is the main playmaker for the Lightning, that's exactly what they do. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of Lightning goals today, I would hope. And I think he's going to be at the center of quite a couple of them, whether he's up on that top line with PP1 or if it's on his own line with like a Nick Paul tap in or something like that. So taking the assist. And then I'm taking Milan threes, not like a normal, I'm taking it because of the chart type square, but I think he's pretty important for this game, especially if Iowa State wants to keep up scoring wise. Again, not that they've had like too much trouble doing that so far this season, but like Iowa's going to run. The total's 160.5. We know there's going to be points for whatever you want to say on both sides. But like Iowa plays pretty big. So like they're really running like 3 forwards out there. So like Milan obviously has height himself, and I think he's a big matchup plus. They're going to want to stretch the floor, and I think him shooting early and often from 3 is probably the biggest key to them kind of getting to the rim eventually in this game. Not saying that like Iowa's the biggest fortress to get to the rim because they're far from that, but if you got a team that's playing pretty big and you have a stretch 4 that's going to go out there and shoot the 3 ball at a clip like Milan, I feel like that's probably the centerpiece of the matchup to get him going pretty early. So I'm going to take it. I know he's coming off of, I think, 4 in his last game, but I think you go to your goats in a spot like this.
Let's hope he's feeling confident after banging 4 threes against Jackson State, right? I don't hate the square. Obviously, like points in this game, obviously on Iowa. One of my favorite plays today, but there's going to be points in this game. And like you said, if they're trying to break up that Iowa defense, especially in the paints, what do? You bring out your stretch 4 to the 3-point arc. You try to bring out some of those big bodies, and then you start attacking the interior, a couple possessions later. Would not be shocked. Let's hope he just comes through and cashes early because if he doesn't hit one in the first half, we're probably not in a good spot.
I feel like every time Iowa State like runs, like they actually go fast with the other team or they're playing a team that's just so bad in transition, that's when he gets a lot of his looks. Like if they're playing teams in the half court, he's not getting nearly as many looks, but if it's in the open court, it's when he's grubbing. So I'm taking a shot at that.
I'm a big Milan fan. I think he's the most important player on that team, to be honest with you. He might not be the best player on that team right now. Obviously, Gilbert and Jones, really good veterans. Milan only a sophomore, though. A year or 2 from now, this kid's going to be one of the best players in the country. He plays overall, both sides of the ball at least enough, and he's really is a jack of all trades. A stretch 4 that you just don't see the talent. And you don't see a guy like that typically dropping 13 points a game at this point in his career, only as a sophomore. But he's a stud. And Milan, even if it means fading Iowa a little bit here, I wouldn't be shocked if he banks 2 threes. Let's hope he hits one early. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if they're running as well, like let's keep this simple too. Like Iowa running up and down the courts, Milan's not going to be able to get his big ass down the court in time. He's going to probably be slow to get down there on offense, and they're going to have to hit him with a couple shots as well when he's open. Hopefully in transition, one of the big men on Iowa, doesn't cover him and pick him up down the court when he's getting down there late, his big ass. So I think the more Iowa runs, the better this square is, and they're going to today. Come on.
Yeah, I do know cool, I guess, somewhat narrative. Not as the first game they're playing away from home because they were in Maui, but he was a really bad like road shooter compared to home, which like a lot of guys are. But like in the off season, that was like a big onus. He was going around and like I saw like the Big 12 had like this ESPN Plus thing where they're like he was going to a million different gyms trying to shoot as many different places as possible during the off season to make sure that he wasn't just a home shooting merchant. So this is their first like true road game. Obviously, like I said, they're in Maui, but kind of cool narrative to back.
All right. Yeah, I can get with it. Even with an Iowa ticket, I'm down to take it. All right. W Plays. W Prize Pick squares. Chat, what do you guys think about those 4 squares on Prize Picks that we just went over? Obviously some NFL, and then Jovan diversified the portfolio, brought some hockey, brought some CBB. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Somebody asked something important in chat as well. What code do I use? I just signed up. You talking about Pickett, Deathstorm. Use code BTL, use code Jovan. Get involved. Appreciate you downloading it. If you guys aren't using Pickett already, just give it a shot. Check it out. It's so clean. The UI, UX on that thing, it looks like it's an app from the future. By far the best bet tracking app out there by far. Check it out. Okay? 2 bets in 1 game is a no-no. Chiote, you're right. That is one of the 10 commandments. That is one of the 10 commandments. But I didn't say shit about Prize Pick squares. You could take a couple of those in the same game. Okay?
Prize Pick squares don't count. It's book bets.
Agreed. W Pickett from DJ Fitz. W DJ Fitz. I better see you on the Surge stream today with at least 3 plays. At least 3.
I want 5.
Maybe 4. Okay?
I want the whole card, whole platter.
He wants the whole shebang. All right. Why don't we dive into the NFL game a little bit and talk about it? I know that's the most popular game tonight by far, obviously. Not the greatest slates around town. A pretty good hockey slate. We can spend some more time on that in a minute. But, yeah, DJ Fitz, get in the lab, man. We need some winners from you today. Preferably a bunch of them. All right. Let's take a peep at the Pickett splits here on Pickett Pro. W Goots. And we got Goots back in the saddle today as well. Back from Arizona, home safe. Can we clap it up for our Goots? He's back today, running ship, taking commands. Love to see it. Goots, hope you're doing well, brother. You're killing it today, like you never left. Look at the Rams on the splits, just like I've been saying, just like I expected here. The Rams are public wherever you check the splits. But then you go on X, or then you go on all these other apps, and you see every single person on the 49ers is a sharp spot. So, unfortunately, this season, those bets just have not come through. Trust me, I've been on most of them. And I think tonight could be the same case. And do I want to fade Matt Stafford and the Rams? I got a soft spot in my heart for that team. I got a bunch of those guys in fantasy as well. I don't. But I do think the 49ers is the right side tonight. I just don't know if I can get to the fucking counter, Jovan. But if I keep looking at these Pickett splits, and if I keep seeing those blue bars moving towards the right a little bit, I might not have a choice.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I feel like this is just such a classic game to – I know it was bouncing back between like 3 and 2.5. And I think there's even some 3.5s like super early in the week. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But
I mean, there was just 3.5s not too long ago. Like a day or so ago, dude.
I didn't know it was that soon ago. But
yeah,
I mean, it just seems like such a classic game to end on 3. Like I can already see it now. It's just going to be one of those games. Nobody still like wants to back the 49ers all that much because I don't know. Like they were super banged up. Obviously, they've been bad. They just started getting a little healthier, the defense especially, and they beat the shit out of the Bears. Who gives a shit about beating the hell out of the Bears because they're moose shit? But I don't know anybody's really buying in. And I was the first one to say the Rams are going to make this late season run, and I was kind of buying into it for the last couple weeks. I think everybody's in that same headspace now. So it's a weird collision course with both these teams. I don't really know what to do either, to be honest with you.
I mean, the Rams already beat the 49ers once this season. Are they going to beat them again for a second time on the road tonight? Probably not. But I'm looking at the spread down to 2.5. You guys know how I feel about that number. And sure, the public's all over the Rams. So no shit, that spread's going to come down from 3.5, 3 to 2, 2.5, right? It already is. It's a 2.5 right now. I'm looking at it. I hate taking minus 2.5s. I hate backing teams when they're laying that number. I just feel like it never fucking smacks. But in my gut, I still think it's the 49ers in the spots. And what are the books going to do? They're not going to move that line a little bit, 0.5 point. It's not the end of the world, right? They're getting all the bets. They're getting all the handle. We got a sub bank coming in from Achilles. He's got a question for you, Jovan. He says, do we trust Isaac to play in full?
Can't really ever say I trust anything with Kyle Shanahan,
Yeah,
to be honest with you. It's hard to be confident in that.
Achilles, who are you debating between starting? I
will say maybe the trust is a little more there because they're considerably thinner at the running back position at this point than they have been when this has happened in the past. Like if you have like an Elijah Mitchell situation, like you have the Garendo like behind him, and same deal with pretty much every running back. Now you're pretty much just down to Patrick Taylor and another practice squad back.
Yep. So it's not like they have, the typical, fucking 5 or 6 random running backs that are just on deck right now. You're right. A lot of these guys are on the IR. Jordan Mason, McCaffrey, obviously, but you can never trust Shanahan with his running backs, man. Never.
You can't, dude. You can't.
Never.
And that's why
Unless it's a
Debo rushing
perfectly
yards
healthy
is wild.
McCaffrey, but yes, it is. That's a great point from Jovan as well. Cannot let that get swept. That late square they put up only a couple minutes ago before BTL. Debo is breaking one on the ground. His 15.5 rushing yard square that's up, that's extremely red. And look, I think the fantasy score is still a great look. It's coming through. And honestly, he's probably going to cash his receiving squares as well after that tweet of him bitching about not getting the ball. But that rushing yard square that's up, Jovan, are you kidding me? He's breaking one on the ground. I've already seen it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to get the ball into his hands without Brock Purdy having to throw it.
Sure.
Or for having him catch it.
You want the ball? Sure. We'll hand the ball off to you. You'll be a running back.
It's the simplest way to do it.
Sure. Could so see it. All right. Vaughn receiving yards might be worth a look. Big Cheesy saying in chat. Think so? It's not even for today. You talking about Devon Vele? Who are you talking about? I don't know who Big Cheesy's talking about there. Jovan, look, we know the history between these two coaches, right? Do we really expect the Rams to win both games in this series after that picture of McVay rubbing Shanahan's head after they shook hands after that last game? That picture went viral. I guarantee you McVay has not slept the same since that game. He's been losing sleep over that shit, and he's going to get revenge on his buddy here in the spot. I think it's the 49ers, man. I do.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Don't know if I can bet it.
I don't know if I can either.
Achilles is saying concerned because his PP numbers are so low, but I have no choice but to play him. Then yeah, I'd play him. Just don't expect what he did last week. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Don't expect what he did last week. All right? Rams need this. Yeah, Dwarf Noah, I know you're a big Rams fan. Krabs bet the 49ers. I'll be happy I'm on the Rams. Fuck you, Dwarf. Come on, man. Come on. I know you're a big Rams fan, then, man. I got that picture glued to my brain of you coming on Surge Stream in a Rams jersey. So, yeah. All right, let's keep moving here. Can we take a scroll down the Pickett Pro board? I want to take a peep at some of the popular markets here for some of the players. I'm curious of what people are taking. Can we scroll down a hair? There we go. Yeah, people are taking Kyron touchdown. I mean, Jovan, are you crazy enough to say he doesn't find pay dirt today? I don't even know if I am.
I mean,
it's been a scoring machine of late.
Yeah, you can't really say that.
No. How do we think Puka does today? Because is he in the category yet where you just expect him to get 10 to 15 targets every game and absolutely tweak and go over his receiving yards and come through as long as he's healthy, really regardless of the matchup? It's getting to that point with Puka. I mean, he gets fed every game when he's healthy. Stafford finds him the rock. I feel like it's completely switched from Cooper Kupp, who's clearly lost a step. Maybe he's still hurt. Maybe he's still recovering. I don't know. But the switch has been made. Those 5 a.m. breakfasts for Cooper Kupp, they're not getting the job done anymore. It's Puka season. Like, who's to say he just doesn't come through once again today? The guy gets fed every game, whether they're winning or losing.
Yeah, I don't know if like the target share is going to be the same as it was in the last game, but I think yardage wise, he's probably more of like the bigger play guy, I would think. So like I think
now
he can
is
get
100%.
In this game, he probably gets a couple more explosive plays than just getting fed down after down. That's kind of how I see it going down. But you know who else? While we're on the topic of receivers, I don't know if it's up on Pickett Pro here. No, he's not listed here, but probably for a reason. There's a guy coming off a bagel who has not only a longest reception up, which is very obviously much higher than 0 yards, which he had last week, but this guy's regular square up too. So I can tell you he's probably catching one for 14. DeMarcus Robinson.
Oh, well, that's not going to cut it anymore. He's going to need to catch one for 20 because that's up to 19.5 on Prize Picks. Yep.
Well, I was talking about his longest reception. But
okay.
Same deal.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that one as well coming off of Shug's bagel against the Bills. It probably is D-Rob season. And for him, that's only going to take one catch, right? And you can probably just take that more than longest reception. That's a good point, Jovan. He's probably only going to have one fucking catch tonight.
I mean, it's really
15 yards.
I don't know if it'll be much of a difference between him getting one for 14 plus and then just getting his normal 20 yards.
You're right. I mean, the route he's going to run where he's going to get the rock is probably going to be a 30-yard bomb anyways. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, interesting square up for Demarcus Robinson. Thoughts on Cooper Kupp today? Figured I'd ask. I have him in a couple leagues. What are your thoughts on Cooper Kupp?
Or owner of the Niners?
Sure.
It's hard to expect too much else, especially because a lot of the thing with Shanahan lately, I've been seeing tweets about it a lot, and it's mostly about the offense, but like defensively too. Teams like attack him the same, or like coaches or systems that have played him well in the same year or past years, like they play him the same exact way. There's like no adjustments made really on either side. So I know it was a little different because I'm pretty sure Puko's not in that game earlier, but he owns the Rams or owns the Niners for a reason. So I could definitely see him being the Cooper Kupp volume guy that we're used to seeing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at his targets. I'm looking at his receptions, and I 100% concur. I agree. Yes. It could be Cooper Kupp day. Now, do I want to take his touchdown? That's his most popular square. Fuck no, I don't. Although that's probably the most simple-minded angle to take him, right? Against a team that he obviously dominates. And the first thing you think of when you think of Cooper Kupp, it's finding pay dirt, especially on this Rams team with Matt Stafford. And he's been his fucking touchdown king his whole career, pretty much. Maybe it's his receptions at 6. Hasn't hit
Could
that
be his
number
targets
since
right
November.
with Trent.
Or his targets. You don't even need the results. Sure. Okay. 8.5 receiving targets, also pretty high. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. That could be sharp, Trent. That could be sharp. Chat's asking for a Prize Picks lineup in this game. Is that something you guys would want? You want us to craft up a Prize Picks lineup involving Thursday Night Football? We could do that.
Could be the difference.
You guys want us to craft up a Thursday Night Football lineup? I know Matt does in chat. Sure.
So unrelated to this lineup, but I've been noticing this a lot with a lot of these stupid squares that are up on the board, and like you click on the rush yards tab for like the week, and the first square up is a square that has absolutely no business being up there, which for whatever reason it's Javonte Williams rush yard this week just spawns great. Like why is it? I don't know why it's up there with all of the Thursday night squares, especially being that he's had -1 combined rush yards in 2 weeks. But
yeah, what, dudes?
Bookmark that for Sunday.
Okay, got it. You think I'm forgetting that shit? That's super glued to my brain right now. I'm taking Javonte Williams, everything. I'm adding him. I'm putting him in my fucking lineups. Sure.
Just
Javonte Williams.
Odd placement.
Huh.
But maybe for a reason.
Jaden Daniels rush yards? We got to stay focused. We got to stay focused.
Focus.
Can't be talking about the Commanders and how excited we are to see Jaden Daniels return to Louisiana to go spank the Saints. We can't get off topic. We can't get off track.
Can't do it.
We can't.
Simply can't do it.
We can't. Okay.
Should I buy Lamar Jackson's cologne? I cop it.
Goots.
What?
Goots, man.
He's revolutionizing the scent game. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and do nothing?
Just unbelievable.
You can buy it for your girl for a Christmas present.
It's unisex.
Since it's women's perfume.
It's unisex, guys.
I'm honestly curious to see like how it smells. If it just smells like a chick perfume, if it smells like Axe, right? Like, is he getting roasted for nothing here? Is this something he should be getting roasted more for? I'm happy you brought this up. Goots, you might have to be a test dummy here and order that shit.
I mean, yeah.
See how it is.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to tell him twice.
It literally says his name on the bottle. That bottle will be traveling with me everywhere I go.
Could it just be marketing stint this whole time with him maybe trying to sell some of his
revolutionize the scent game. All right.
Okay. Goots. Yeah, Goots, let's cut the shit. We know you already sprayed that shit this AM when it got over there. Next day delivered.
Yeah, next day delivery. Yeah, you're right.
How is it? Smell good?
Right. It's amazing.
Okay. Good. All right. That is one of the weirdest things from yesterday. And Goots, appreciate you hopping on. Good to have you back. Hilarious. Lamar can wear whatever fucking cologne he wants. He's him. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that too much. Questions might need to be asked.
Lord.
You know, Jovan, I would love to craft up a Thursday Night Football Prize Picks lineup. I really would. And maybe we can keep out, some of my squares from the Sharp Report. Obviously, you got to lock in the Sharp Report 4-man. Maybe we can craft up something new. something fun, something cool for this Thursday night football game. And maybe it involves Matt Stafford throwing a pick for the first time in a month. I'll go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and get right to it here. Jovan, what are your thoughts on Stafford, the future Hall of Famer, throwing a pick tonight against the 49ers?
I mean, defense is getting healthier, playing well. It's a divisional game where, again, they've seen a lot of each other. And now, I guess you can say the defense that's playing has seen a lot of him too. I don't hate that. He's been great lately. But
yeah, minus
I don't know.
125 on the books to throw.
This is probably the only one where I'd be somewhat okay fading him because I don't want to join the rest of the world and doing
100%. 100%. You want to put that in now as a placeholder, maybe? You can always take it out.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. I know I came with a couple other squares, and, if need be, we can always put them in there to close it out. But would love to try and see if we could find some other squares that we either haven't talked about or maybe that were brought up just, talking through the game. Do you have any other squares? And maybe it's that Demarcus Robinson one that you mentioned as well. That could be one we put in this puppy.
Could be that. Could be Debo too, rushing.
I mean, both. Yes. My reply to that is yes. Both. Now, are we putting D-Rob longest reception, or are we putting D-Rob receiving yards in this bitch?
He's put his yards in. He's probably going to get both on the same catch.
And chat, full transparency, I will 1,000% have Deebo Samuel more than fantasy score in lineups tonight. I know that's LC's favorite square as well. Have to ride that one. Got bumped up from 11.5 to 12. Okay, but for this lineup, I think we go with that nasty rushing yard square that was not up early this AM. We lock that puppy in. So right now we got Stafford to throw a pick. We got D-Rob more than receiving yards. We got Debo more than rush yards. Is there maybe another 49er in this puppy we could add to the folds?
Could go to that Purdy pass attempts.
I was hoping you were going to say it, brother. I was hoping you were going to bring it up.
I feel like they got to
pass attempts.
They got to do something here to open it up early. I feel like they're going to throw more on early downs because, I mean, Garendo obviously banged up. Patrick Taylor sucks at football, but then you have Debo in there. I feel like they don't want to get themselves in a lot of second and long, third and longs today against the Rams. So whether that's quick screens, short slants, just anything kind of shallow, I would assume that Purdy's going to be throwing, get like a little run game by extension early in the early downs today a lot.
Say no more. I want to take this. It's Reds. I liked it earlier when you brought it up. I think with Guriento banged up, you see them emphasize Brock Purdy, who's been pretty fucking good this season, and again, getting no respect. He gets no respects. I don't get it. When will he get his respect? When he finally wins a bowl? I guess.
He looked like Brady last week. Granted,
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
the Bears are
He's
bad
good
at
at
football,
football.
but he looked so good.
The Bears might be bad at football, but Brock Purdy's good at football, and I'm tired of people saying otherwise. He is. Look, you might have a shit game in there too, don't we all? Right? It happens. But overall, man, Brock Purdy, great QB. Let's take his pass attempts. Their running backs are banged up. It's high as heck. 30 pass attempts, red as heck. Let's take it. I'm in. And that would be a 10x. There's zero, these don't negatively correlate, right? It's good. Still a 10xer here for a 4-man. Love to see it.
Yeah. We do have pass attempts and rushing in there. So, I mean, it doesn't positively correlate, but it's good enough.
Yeah, the odds didn't change. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Typically, you're putting a 4-man in the same game, and they might be giving you a little worse payout if the squares, correlate, but this one does not, at least by the odds. And this is a 4-man that I feel like has legs. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know if you have any other squares you'd recommend. But I'm looking at this 4-man. I'm seeing Matt Stafford, hasn't thrown a pick in a month, juicy to the over on the books. 49ers defense showing a pulse last week. Not saying they're going to be on, they're going to be cracked out in this game tonight against Stafford, but wouldn't be shocked if they get a pick. Then I'm looking at Demarcus Robinson. That square's been getting bumped up all week. His receiving yards. Already weird that it's up, coming off a Shug's bagel. He's getting a catch for 20 yards. Debo Samuel, late addition to the board, is rushing yards. Very redded out chart. If you want to get him the ball, there's one easy way to do it. Line up in the backfield, my man. We'll get you the ball, okay? And then Brock Purdy, pass attempts to close this puppy out. It's high for a reason. I know we're taking Debo rush yards in this as well, but honestly, that Debo Square could smack with one run. I've already seen him breaking one down the sideline. Brock Purdy's going to have to be the guy for the 49ers tonight. He's the one carrying them to a victory. And there will be times in this game where the Rams are up, I'm telling you, early on as well. And they will be in an L game script. Maybe not towards the end. I do think they pull it out. But wouldn't be shocked if Stafford takes a lead heading into halftime even. And Brock Purdy's got to step up and air the ball out a little bit. Get the ball to Debo. Get the ball to your stud tight end, your safety net. Get the ball to some of these receivers, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. Get him involved as well down the field. Do job. It can't be, relying on Guriento on one leg today. Can't do it. It's got to be Brock. Got to be Brock. All right? 4-piece. 10Xer. You want to lock this puppy in?
Oh, I just locked.
All right, word. Let me get involved. Chat, you guys want me to put the link in this puppy? That's a 4-man that has legs.
Goosage.
Let me lock it. I'll read it out one more time for you guys. Okay. Matt Stafford, more than half a pick. Demarcus Robinson, more than 19.5 receiving yards. Debo Samuel, more than 15.5 rush yards. And Brock Purdy airing it out, more than 30 pass attempts. Sure. I love that 4-man. Okay. Chat, here comes the link. As soon as my phone actually works and locks in the lineup. Come on.
Huge.
Jesus. All right, let's go to the NHL board, Jovan. I know it's a loaded slate today. I do not want to let the other plays on the ice get swept. I would love to hear if you have any thoughts. And if you don't, we could skip through some games. But you got to have another angle or two up your sleeves for this loaded hockey slate, huh?
Yeah, I expected to have a little more on first glance of the games, but it's not my favorite set of games. I'll say that, I guess.
Okay.
I'm with you on the Devils. I don't know if I'm dying to get involved because there's not many things that I will blindly just look at and just see them turn green a million times. But every single time I see the Mikey Overs Devils -150 text, it is auto cake. So maybe the fact that it hasn't been sent is good, but they are -150. Does scare the hell out of me, and I might be waiting to fade the Kings. But I'm with you though. That's the play in the game. Ducks, Leafs, gross. Stolar's return though is interesting narrative, I guess. The Pens is an interesting game, not for the fact that both those teams are good, but because obviously they're not. But one of the issues, even though they won the game, that Canadians Ducks game that we took the over in and it finished 3-2, which was Rapis. The biggest issue for the Habs in that game is they're beating around the bush too much. Like if you look at what they've done against some of the better teams over the past, couple weeks, I guess really like better defensive teams, they've been better against them than like the teams that allow a shit ton of shots. Like, I don't know, they're being like really cute with all of their shots. So like they're waiting, they're not taking as many shots, they're being super selective. It's been better against the defensive teams, not nearly as good against teams like the Ducks who allow a lot of shots. The Pens are kind of the same. So now the line's trickled back a little bit, and the Habs are coming off a decently impressive win, I guess, other than that. And the Pens just got smoked in a sharp spot at home with the Avs or against the Avs. I think it might be the Pens. I might take them there. Maybe an over two. We'll see how that works. But I kind of like the Pens against the line move.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, man. I kind of like the Canadians, but certainly staying off that now. And they have won 3 of their last 4. Pittsburgh's dropped 2 of their last 3. So not surprised to see that line moving towards the Canadians and looking at the splits and bets as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm off that then.
It is a little weird too, because like I believe this is the last game of the Habs, like this homestand where that's where the 3 of 4 have come. So like they've been really good, kind of sitting back at home, fat, happy, and complacent, and you get the Pens, who are just a dog shit team, dog shit org at this point, coming out on the road. It feels like the perfect game where they just say, fuck it, we're going to go all out on a team that probably is going to not play our game as much as we want to play our game. So, I don't know, madness game, but kind of like the Pens, probably going to get there. Other than that, I don't know that I have too much. I guess
I got one for you.
A little later, Blue Sharks. What do you got?
Well, I want to hear about the Blue Sharks play. What do you think about that game?
I think this is such a classic classic game for the Sharks to steal, or at least make it super close. Like they really ever since the Kraken back-to-back games, I guess they won. They had their little streak where like they beat the Kraken back-to-back and they beat the Caps in OT. They've been kind of mush it ever since. That was when we faded them against the Lightning. Then they got smacked by the Panthers. Then they got not smacked by the Canes, but they didn't really have an offensive pulse in that game for too long. Just the Canadians blew every single, or the Canes blew every single chance they have. But now the Blues, dude, whenever people just want to bet the Blues and it's an obvious situation to do so against a dead team at home, it's when the Sharks win, or at least take it to like overtime. So like, at the very least, this being the last game of this home or this road stand for the Sharks, they're going to come out aggressive. And like a Sharks score first, I think would be pretty interesting play.
Side note, you starting Cortland Sutton or Brian Thomas this week?
Brian Thomas is going to make his appearance just like he did last week on the weekend preview. So
okay,
yeah,
if that doesn't answer it for you, I don't know what will.
Yeah,
it's got to be Brian Thomas then. Okay, I hope you don't hate Cortland Sutton this weekend. I know they're coming off a bye.
No, I mean it's hard to hate him against the Colts secondary, but pretty in on Brian again.
Okay, all right, good. I got a late night hockey play that I wanted to run by you and get your thoughts. I think it's the latest game of the night.
Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken and Bruins. You could probably guess at what I like. Although maybe it's not that sharp, but I want to fade the Bruins. I want to back the Kraken at home, losers of 2 of their last 3. Before that, they were playing some good hockey. I want to fade the Bruins coming into town. They beat them earlier this season, a couple weeks ago, when they played 2-0 shutout in Boston. Now we got Seattle, who's been a covering machine of late. I mean, they've been dogs in every game. They get no line respect. I don't get it. They're dogs again tonight, but they're coming off a couple losses in their last couple games. The Bruins overall, or at least in my opinion, they're regarded as a better squad. They have a better record as well, and they're only minus 120 in this spot. They've already beaten them once this season. I kind of want to take the Kraken at plus chicken at home, but I've seen that movie before as well. Jovan, I want your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I think maybe the Kraken at this point in time, the Kraken and the Bruins are probably a lot closer than you think they are in your head. But a lot of that's been because of like the past week. Like I kind of, maybe we talked about this, like starting with the Canes game like a little bit ago, or really after like they lost back-to-back to the Sharks. I thought this road trip for the Kraken was going to get kind of weird and they're going to be good. And they won 3 of 4 when they were, I think, underdogs, pretty big underdogs in almost every single one of those games. And then they came back at home and they lost the Panthers. They didn't really score, but they lost in a shootout. I mean, it was a good game. I have kind of vowed to be back in the Kraken for the next week or so until they cool off. So I'm right there with you. I think I'm going to go back to it in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to bet the late night Kraken.
For what it's worth, too, I've noticed this because the Bruins, they just get absolutely pummeled by the Jets. They gave up 8 goals, like real Nikki's saying in chat. So I've been looking, like, usually I would want to back teams like that. This year specifically, teams have not bounced back from those performances well at all. It's weird. Because, like, you would kind of think there'd be a little more in the tank for those teams that are getting just pummeled by a team.
Yeah.
Usually we would bet that. That has not been the case this year at all, which is weird. So, especially with the Bruins being back on the road on the West Coast for this one again. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Kraken ML. Need you guys at the cash counter for that one. I'll be adding that to my card. 100%.
Sure.
Okay. Any other college basketball plays worth our time? Hilarious, you're fading the Hokies today. I honestly might have to get involved with that one and tail it as well. That's a good looking play. I like Campbell, like we already talked about. Give me Iowa getting the points at home. You got any thoughts on New Mexico State, Texas?
I mean, I can't help but look at that game and think that feels exactly like San Diego State, Cal Baptist, where, I don't know, New Mexico is an odd team to play because they're a lot different than a lot of the teams that Texas has been playing. And they've been playing up, obviously. They had like their break game against Delaware State, but other than that, like they're coming off the UConn game, NC State, St. Joe's a tough team. They played Syracuse, like all these neutral site tournament games. And now you come back before finals week and they have, I believe, this game and another one, maybe 2 other ones before they get going, they're going to be pretty sleepy in some of these games. And I don't know if it's going to be against Pine Bluff or New Orleans because they're that bad defensively. It might just be this one.
See, I kind of had a different thought. Not going to lie to you. But after hearing that, I'm certainly not betting this fucking game. New Mexico comes in off a outright win against New Mexico. Okay.
Right.
I probably said that wrong, but New Mexico State comes in with an outright win as 19.5-point dogs at New Mexico. Insane. Texas comes in off a loss to UConn. Give them a pass on that one. That was a pissed off UConn team coming off some losses. And guys, I don't think this Texas team is very good. I think they're overrated in the betting market, overrated in general for CBB. But I do like them in this spot. And I kind of wanted to fade New Mexico coming off that big outright win against their rival, right? And back Texas laying this big number coming off that loss, but certainly not anymore. And not looking at these splits. Jesus. Splits are crazy. All Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect, Krabs?
I know. Nobody's betting New Mexico. They got their little nerdy coach on the sidelines with the tucked-in suit.
Terrible
Looks like
coach.
looks like he hasn't
coach.
slept in a month, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it is them.
I mean,
I lean Texas.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it, but definitely lean the other way.
All right.
That comment is crazy though. Texas blowout. They need these bye games. Schedule's about to get tough. No, it's not. That's absurd. They play Arkansas, Pine Bluff, New Orleans, and Northwestern State the next 3 games. That can be your blowout games. But it's also as much as I've watched the Big 12, these games right before finals week get very odd, which is
I mean, yeah,
they're
big
never,
dogs have been barking.
Yeah, I mean,
simple.
they also just don't play their guys for as long as they should either. Like the blowout hooks are very close, even in like games that are not 30-point games like this. They're 20-point spreads. Like it always gets weirder than you think.
All right. One other college basketball game I wanted to bring up. Shout out Arkansas State, a team that I talked about on the pod preseason as a sleeper in the mid-majors. They knocked off Memphis on the road in their last game as 12-point dogs. They won by 12 or 13 in that game. Absurd. Good for them. This Red Wolves team is good. Arkansas State is good. Now, with that being said, I'm not allowed to bet on them today, coming off that crazy upset against Memphis, right? My crabby body will not let me place that bet. It just simply can't happen. But do we really think UT Arlington is coming in there and winning this game outright? They're coming off of 3 covers in a row as well. They just took care of business in their last game against Louisiana Monroe. I do think Arkansas State probably a solid parlay piece here if you have something closer to minus 175 to pair it with. But I just am not allowed to bet on Arkansas State coming off that outright win. I wish I could because I like this team as a mid-major. I had them circled early on in the season, but cannot bet them coming off that crazy upset, probably the craziest upset of the season so far.
I want to fade, Krabs. I want to do it.
I know you do.
I want to do it.
And I wouldn't blame you at all, to be honest with you. I wouldn't blame you at all.
I might do it.
Okay. I know there's not a lot of bets in this game, but you a little bit surprised to see the splits on that spread?
Maybe a little bit.
Might not matter too much. Not too many bets in this game anyways, but interesting. Yeah, I lean Arkansas State on the ML, but you cannot bet that, and that's not a sharp spot coming off that outright win. It's impossible to be in a sharp spot coming off that outright win as a mid-major. So if you're betting UT Arlington, Jovan, I wish you the best of luck, and I do not hate that play at all. Okay?
Yeah.
Evansville probably covers late night against Chattanooga, but I'm not going to get to the counter with that one either. That might be a little forced.
Yeah. Probably like Chattanooga.
Okay. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. We got a squad ride to craft here in a moment, but before we do, I did want to touch on briefly the NBA today. I know you talked about Toronto on the spread. Okay. I will be tailing that play with you. Fade Miami. Love that sell job. What about Detroit, Boston, or Sacramento, New Orleans? You got any thoughts on those 2 games?
Got to be honest, I want so little to do with either of those games.
Okay.
Obviously, if I'm betting one big dog, I'm probably not going to lean into the other in the Pistons, which also I would say pretty surprising picket splits there. Which is a lot of Pistons money, which is a little odd to me. But yeah, I don't want to lean into both, and the Kings and Pels can actually leave the
Okay.
NBA because I'm tired of betting either of those teams unless it's like the very obvious spot I want to buy into.
All right. I kind of like the under in the Pistons and Celtics game. Both teams are coming in off of overs where there
No.
were plenty of points.
No Tatum.
Okay. I'm out.
Yeah, figured you'd be out.
I'm out. All right. Fuck the Kings. Fuck the Pelicans.
Respect
Clown
for that.
chess. Clown chess. All right. Well, I wouldn't mind spending some extra time on the squad ride today. But before we do, let me go ahead and look at chat, see what you guys are talking about. Maybe we have some questions we can answer. Krabs, I tailed Green Bay last night. Had to sleep on the street. Okay. Not a great start looking at chat. Zach, that's all me, my man. If you threw more than $100 on that, hit my DMs, I'll throw you some coins back. That was that bad of a play where I'm willing to do that. And I feel bad now after reading that. And that was a good joke. So I'll give you that. That might have been worst play of year. Hit me up, show me a slip. If it was more than $100, don't fucking crop it. Don't edit it. Don't be a piece of shit. If it was more than $100, though, hit me up and I'll get you some coins back. Okay. And Dom Smooth had the Notre Dame over 142.5. So did I, Dom. We're in shit together, my man. But that's on us. And we're going to bounce back today, whatever the squad ride is. Have a feeling if we lock it in timely, the gambling gods are going to take care of us. So let's hope we get one back today. I like our chances looking at the slate. All right. W. Shrimpy Subbank coming in. 27 months of betting on ball sack states, brother. Yes, sir, Mr. Shrimpy. Come on.
Wouldn't want any other way.
Come on. Yes, exactly how we drew it up. All right, keep those questions coming, chat. Now is the chance to ask about plays today. If you got fantasy questions, we'll try to get to them here. We got a couple minutes. Jovan, what do you think about Debo, Neighbors, Cup, and Tyreek? Which guy are you benching? Debo, Neighbors, Cup, Tyreek.
Debo, Neighbors, Cup, and Tyreek.
I feel like I'm benching Tyreek, as crazy as that is to say.
That does sound crazy, Krabs.
Yeah, it kind of does. I like the under in that game a lot. I think I would bench Tyreek.
I don't know if I can do that.
Okay.
Maybe it's probably 16-point underdog Neighbors with DeVito starting.
Wow. See, I'm in the boat where I think if he's playing the game, you can't bench him. He's just one of those guys like Puka. It's 15 targets a game. But with what he's been doing recently, he's been bitching about the yards as well. He has not been, the greatest fantasy player of late. So you can make an argument for that for sure.
He's been decent.
Yeah.
Not as good as you want, but.
Yep. He's not getting the big, the long catches. We got a couple other questions here. Who do I start in my flex, Pacheco or London? Pacheco against the Browns or Drake London against the Raiders on Monday?
I don't know if I can ever really say to bench anybody against the Raiders defense.
Yeah. Okay. It's got to be Drake London there. Should I start Plaxico Burris or Hakeem Nicks? Grow up. Grow up.
Did you get that question from the ticker in the Night Sweats room?
Got that from Bookit Sports in the chat.
That's what I'm saying.
Darnold or Goff? I mean, that's tough. I think you go Darnold again. But do you want to bench Goff in a total at 54? I don't know if you can do that. I changed my mind. It's got to be Goff.
I don't know how you can bench Goff in that game.
It's got to be Goff with that total. I mean, that game, as square as it is, it's probably going to have 70 points. It's going to be Josh Allen masterclass. It's going to be Detroit Lions masterclass on offense.
Isn't Desmond Ritter playing QB? I wouldn't play London. I have really tough news for you, brother. But Desmond Ritter is the quarterback of the Raiders.
Okay.
Not the Falcons.
Goff or Purdy? I think you still got to keep Goff in there, but that's a win-win, in my opinion. I'm with Jovan. I think he said it perfectly. You can't take him out of that lineup in that spot with that high total in the game against the Bills. You can't.
Can't.
You can't.
That's just like that's a player goats game. Just has to be.
All right. Here's a good one. bench one of these guys. Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings. I don't think you could bench DJ Moore against this Vikings secondary this week. I will be starting him in any league I have him. Juwan Jennings has been on fuego recently. Who's to say he doesn't have another one in him? But as a contrarian, I probably would bench Juwan Jennings and start the first two gents. But I think it's got to be DJ Moore in the lineup, and then you decide between Garrett Wilson and Juwan Jennings.
I'd have a hard time benching Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
Would have a pretty tough time.
Okay. Maybe you bench Garrett Wilson.
Against the Jags.
They're going to be potentially up in that game anyways. Maybe they're running the rock with your guy Braylon Allen when he's sitting on your bench.
Yeah. You know, I thought maybe they'd be up in that game because that line looks insane. Granted, the Jets are always kind of sharp, but then I saw today the Jags are wearing the teal throwbacks. So I might be off. I might be off.
Okay. Yeah, they got a pulse. They got
Pulse,
a chance
dude.
if they're rocking those. Okay. Last call, chat. Any other cues?
I got a question.
Goots.
Marv and Kyler have been royally fucking me the past couple weeks. Would it be wrong to just bench them, put them in timeout, or do you think they have a good week?
Who you starting in
Using
place of
Christian
them?
Gonzalez. Jail.
I don't even know who I'd bench him for. It's just like I'm just tired of Marv, man.
I'd bench him for Sterling Shepard at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bucky. Would you rather have Bucky or
Hey.
Marv? It just depends if he plays.
I don't even know I don't know if Bucky's even going to play.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
I got Cooper and Brian. Flex is kind of thin. If Bucky's out, it's going to have to be Marv or Kate Otten.
Bucky didn't practice today too, so I would
Yeah.
probably assume he's
If
not.
Bucky
playing.
doesn't play, it's going to have to be Marv or Keon Coleman or Vele or
Keon Coleman.
Jovan.
Ooh, Sincere McCormick with Ritter at quarterback could be.
I like Sincere McCormick
a
this
move.
week. Sure.
That could be a move.
Raiders
It's a
running back
ballsy
in
move.
The playoffs in the Big 2-4.
Yeah, it's a ballsy move. I just don't know that I can get myself to start because I'm also a pissed off Marv owner and he's been rat shit. It's not just a spite thing, but like he's going to face Christian Gonzalez. I don't know if I could confidently put that in the lineup no matter who my other options are at this point.
It's just when I bench him, it's when he's going to have a day. I just know it.
Yeah,
But,
not wrong.
Starting Jaden Daniels or Sam Darnold in fantasy this weekend?
Jaden, dude.
You got to start him every week.
I always start him, no matter what.
You got to start him every week.
Yeah, with the rushing upside too, it's against that Saints defense, such a difference too. And
Looking
he's
at
going
his
back to
rushing yards squared
Louisiana.
today. Yeah, this one means more.
Yeah,
Right.
This is cool ass game.
Could be, look, the Commanders could show up in New Orleans and absolutely stomp them, beat them by 30 to nothing. But, I'd be shocked if the Commanders defense plays that well. I think even if the Saints put up some points, though, and keep this game close, that only helps JD5 and his fantasy stock in this game, obviously, because if they go up early and have a big lead, they're going to hand the ball off to Brian Robinson a million times.
Dude,
I think the Saints offense can score a little bit here.
Brian
like
Robinson
the over in
can
this game.
Grub, dude.
He's going to grub.
Hoping and praying that JD Vulture is one of his touchdowns because
Yep,
I might need it, but B-Rob's going to go off too.
they're going to feed him against that Saints D line. Hey, Chase Young versus the Commanders. Big revenge narrative.
Forgot about that.
Do we think Chase Young gets a sack this weekend?
I might spite fade.
Wonder if they have that on Prize Picks yet. No, they don't.
No,
Okay.
I don't think they put up sacks until pretty close to.
Okay. All right, last one. We got an SBR subby coming in as well. Let's have a night, gents. WSBR, we appreciate you, Beast. Last question, Jovan, before we get to the squad ride. You going Purdy versus the Rams or Sam Darnold versus the Bears?
I mean, I would hate starting Purdy just period off of an absolute legacy game, but I don't know. I mean, Sam Darnold, not in much different of a boat, but I don't know that I can start Sam Darnold in that game. Primetime, weird divisional game, probably going to somehow find its way under. versus also a divisional game, but the running back situation that San Francisco's in tonight. So at least you can kind of more so count on the fact that he needs to throw the ball to some degree.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think you made the right call there. I think you got to keep Purdy in. Bench Darnold.
It's a tough one, though.
Okay. Let's get to the squad ride. I don't want to run over today. I believe we have the surge stream after this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But let's go ahead and get to the squad ride here, gents. Gootsy, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. All right, boys. Lock the fuck in. The squad rides have not been good in December. Today is the day we turn it around. Okay, mark it in your calendars, December 12th, the day we go on Fuego to end the fucking year on squad rides. Plain and simple. Okay? Jovan, I'm looking at your plays. I'm looking at my plays. Where do you think we start? And why is it NC-A&T plus 15 against the Hokies?
See, you scare me by the fact that that's the first place you want to go.
Okay.
It's a little
So
frightening.
maybe keep that one off then. Maybe
Yeah.
keep that one out then. All right. Well, looking at my plays.
Hoping you didn't say that.
Looking at my plays here, and there's two of them that I simply cannot resist. You got Iowa plus 5.5, my favorite college basketball play today, and you've got a little juicy favorite on the ice. If people don't want to lay the juice, they don't have to vote for it. But the Devils on the ice are not losing this game, and that probably is my favorite play of the day in any sport today.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, if you love it that much, I'd be down to put it in.
You don't think they win?
My strategy for this was going to be, we know we're taking the Lightning. We know we're taking the Devils. I was just going to cancel those out and leave them out because they're both like minus 150.
Okay. Can we put Iowa in that puppy?
Yeah,
like
we
that
can
we
put
can at
Iowa in
least
there for sure.
add into the fold. Okay. We'll put Iowa in there. Ben, let's go 3-0, my man. I agree with you. Okay. Kraken.
Could be so in for the Kraken.
Kraken.
So in.
There's a silent chant going on right now in chat. Kraken.
Kraken.
They're starting it. They're far away. It's not too loud, but it's starting to pick up some steam here. Kraken.
Yes.
Kraken. I just hear it over and over again. I would not mind putting them in there one bit. I'm definitely betting them tonight. I'll leave that up to you.
There we go, Goots. Goots wants it.
That's not creepy. That's not creepy at all.
That is actually
crazy. Kraken with the Gootsy whispers in the ear. I hope you guys could hear that one in chat. I hope that was not just me and Jovan. All right. I kind of want to pull a Uno card here and put in my juicy hockey play with the Devils.
Okay. Let the chat decide.
Kind of want to put my foot down on that one. Not gonna lie.
If you're putting your foot down, I'm listening.
I want to put my foot down on this one. They're winning that fucking game. Favorite play today. They get it done on the ice. It might be minus 150 if you don't want to play that, chat. We got a couple other options for you in the poll. Okay? I think we put them in there.
Sure.
How much are you loving the Lightning? Is that your favorite play today?
Yeah. It's just, I don't really care to put minus 150 in the poll. So I'm going to play it. I'm also going to play the puck line. But they know that.
Okay. Bethune-Cookman. Huh, Casper? Why don't we run it as a 3-piece and keep it simple today and cut the card down unless you have any qualms?
No qualms.
Like Campbell, but I'm seeing that line bouncing around, and I kind of just want to let it settle, to be completely honest with you. I want to trust my guns with my other favorite two plays there.
Sure.
Raptors plus 10.
Yeah.
Fade your heat.
You know I'm down.
Get some NBA involved.
Yeah. I
wasn't
going to push because I figured that one didn't resonate as well because you didn't bring it up. But
no, I like that play a lot. I think that was honestly your best sell job today. So I
Sure.
would love to put that in the vote.
Would be very
Okay.
down.
Let's buy some bad news. Back Toronto on the road and fade your Heat.
Yeah.
Okay. Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. We're going to set the poll here for 2 minutes. Hurry up, go, go, go. All right. Trent, apologies for running over a little bit late here. But we will go ahead and get this poll up and moving. 4 plays, 4 winners, chat, for the BTL squad ride today. Can we lock in? If you're watching on YouTube, now's your time to migrate over to the Twitch chats and get involved. Make your selection. Everybody's got to pick. This is a democracy, folks. Everybody's vote counts the same. Okay, lock in. Don't just sit there. Click the right button, please. And don't just click the sport you want to bet on tonight or watch. Don't just click the sport that you prefer. Click the best sell job you heard today. Click the best play you heard us talk about today that you just feel it in your nads, you know is turning green. Okay, it's as simple as that. Got to keep it at the base level here, guys. Click the best sell job. Click the best play you heard today that's turning green. Maybe not the best game. Maybe not a primetime game. I mean, we didn't even put NFL in here because that's how we're feeling about this one, which I like, right? If we're not super confident, let's not put it in there. But click the right button of the fucking best play you heard today, please. All right? Right now, it's the Raptors taking an early lead. A little bit surprised by that, but I got no qualms with it. Love all 4 of these plays. We got Iowa in CBB plus 5.5. You got the Kraken on the ice on the ML. You got the Devils on the ice on the ML and the Raptors plus 10 in the association. All right, you got about 45 seconds left, chat. Get involved. If you're looking for the poll, it is in the Twitch chat. Okay? Jovan, thoughts on these 4 plays, my man? Where would you put your vote?
Maybe the Kraken at this point, but I'm with everybody in the Raptors, obviously. I still like, I mean, maybe famous last words, but if the Heat put up 4 straight really good performances at home with everything that's going on, the way that we know the Heat road trips or home stands always go, I'll tip my cap. We'll tip cap.
Well, you know what, Jovan? It looks like we're tipping that cap tonight because we're locking in the Raptors plus 10. We're fading your Heat. Back in the Raptors on the road, buying the bad news. No Scotty Barnes, no problem. They keep that within single digits. Okay? If the Heat play 4 great games in a row and turn into the fucking prime Warriors, so be it. We charge it to the game. We tip cap. I'm in.
Yeah.
All right? Chat, Raptors plus 10 tonight. Please don't let these other plays get swept either. Okay? Good reminder to you guys. You can bet these other plays up here too. These are obviously our favorite plays of the day. And please tail these responsibly. Tail them every day, but tail them responsibly. Okay, 1-2 units. All right? We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Stick around for the Surge stream. Bring the great vibes. Bring Trent a winner, please. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be.